You don't need God to be moral. I'm going to talk about that today. Yeah, don't need God to be moral. I was watching a debate with Christopher Hitchens and some Christian dude. I forget who it was. And he was asking Christopher, the Christian guy, was, where do you get your morality from? And, what's so interesting to me, this argument, honestly, hi, my name's Timmy Gibson. Before I get into this, I guess I should do my little spiel. Welcome to my channel. Glad you're here. I'm a former fundamental evangelical, tongue-talking, Holy Ghost rolling pastor. Did that for 30 years and spent 48 years of my life as a Christian. So this whole morality thing, hello, Christians don't have the corner market on morality. Clearly, just look at the news. Just look at I just watched a report. I literally just saw a news report about some mega church pastor that broke into some single woman's house that he apparently was stalking and had kind of a crush on and got caught on film. Oh my goodness gracious. So anytime I hear a Christian that says morality comes from God, are you talking about the dude that supported slavery? Wait a minute. Are you talking about the God that wiped out almost the entire human race and all the animals on earth except for two of every kind, and Noah and his wife and his 3 kids and their wives? Like, is this the God you're talking about? This is the one we get the morality from? The one that says go in there, kill everybody, kill all the babies, keep the virgins, clearly, keep the virgins. Come on, like, it's absolutely insane to think that we get our morality from God, from the Bible. Seriously, give me a break. Okay, but I can tell you right now, from the horse's mouth, I am more moral today as an atheist than I was as a Christian. Now, I can imagine some of you Christians are like, oh, I bet you. Listen, when I say I'm more moral, it wasn't like I was super immoral as a Christian and now I'm like this perfect little person. That's not what I'm saying. But I am a better person today than I was then. The hiding and the lying and the deceits. Well, I don't have to hide and lie. I don't have to lie and say, I don't touch myself. That's a sin. God doesn't approve of that, so I don't do it. I don't drink. I don't drink no alcohol because God says you can't do it. That's how I was raised. I was raised that cussing was wrong, drinking was wrong, smoking the devil's lettuce is wrong, dancing too provocatively is wrong, girls wearing bikinis is wrong. I mean, on and on and on, right? I mean, they're rated R movies were wrong. Harry Potter is wrong. Yoga is the devil. Meditation is the devil. As I say all this stuff out loud, it's like people think, what year were you born, Timmy? Well, I mean, I was born in 1969, if you want to know the year I was born. And my birthday is just one day away from Christopher Hitchens' birthday. He was born April 13th. I was born April 14th. So Weesby Aries. Anyway, a little more serious note. Yeah, for me, just personally, I did think when I was a Christian, I really did think this, like genuinely. I thought that if I wasn't a Christian, if I didn't have a relationship with God, that I would be a terrible human being. I really thought that. Like, I thought what was um, motivating me to be a good person was God. I mean, I don't like. I'm custom discuss below those of you that were former Christians, or even if you're a Christian, what are your thoughts? Because when I was a Christian, I thought that what was making me a good person or a better person was my relationship with God. Well, here I am now, godless, right? I'm atheist. I don't believe in God. And I believe in honesty. I believe in integrity. I have character. I believe in fairness. I believe in charity. I believe in, right? Like, so all these things that I still believe in, well, I don't need God to want to treat people right. I don't need God to be honest. I don't need God to live a moral life. I, right? And clearly, I mean, just clearly, just look around. Christians don't have or religious people, Christianity is what I come out of. They don't have the corner market on morality, right? I did a video already about that, about the hypocrisy of religious people, claiming to be one way, but then secretly they're another way. Like that's the very opposite of integrity or character. So I guess I just don't, it's maybe just because I'm not intellectual enough. Is that even a right way to say that? I don't see how and why a Christian would feel like morality comes from God when clearly how God is pictured in the Bible, that God, the God of the Bible, is very immoral, right? That the God of the Bible is very like immoral, bigoted, racist, even maniacal, a maniac, right? Genocidal. Like I don't find the God of the Bible in any way moral. Now, when you get to Jesus, right? Jesus seems like a pretty dope dude and seems, more given to kindness and charity and grace and mercy and forgiveness and all that kind of stuff. And that's fine. Um, I mean, but just like, if I'll end with this, this is going to be one of my shorter videos. I say that, it seems like I say that a lot and then I keep talking, don't I? Also in this debate, they said one of the questions that came up actually for the Christian, and I thought, man, what a great question. Basically, what the question was is, if Christianity is true, like if it's the ultimate truth, like if Christianity is ultimately true, then how is it that people of other faiths have, quote unquote, benefited from their false religions, and not everyone in the true Christianity faith isn't benefiting with positive things? Does that make sense? In other words, how is it that someone who was an alcoholic discovers Buddhism and gets free from that addiction and lives a better life, and it wasn't Jesus? How could, if Christianity is true, don't you think there would be more life transforming stories? And not just more. I would say this, because I was in this, I was a pastor for 30 years. So I saw all the shenanigans. I just, I saw the lives of the people in my church, and some of their lives that was just horrendous, full of just debauchery and calamity and disease and sickness and mishaps and misfortune and just trouble all the way around. So you would think that if Christianity were true, then it would truly impact everyone's lives in a positive way, but it doesn't. And this Christian guy that was debating Christopher Hitchens, I think Christopher Hitchens clearly won this debate big time. But the Christian guy did have some good points. His answer to that question was more, well, that's the fault of the Christian, not God, which is it's a great way to scapegoat, kind of a great way to to get out from underneath that question. Because if the message of Jesus were actually factually really, really true, then my guess would be that it would impact everyone in a very positive way and change their lives. Like, it would change everybody's life. Like, if it was actually, like, if you're thirsty, water's going to quench that thirst, not for some of you, for all of you. Why? Well, because water is like true. Like, if you're thirsty, water's the answer. And in the church, I'd say, if you're lost, Jesus is the answer. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. Right? And that's just the truth. I can't even tell you how many people that I dealt with got saved, gave their hearts to Christ. They got off their addiction, whatever their addiction was. And 3 weeks later, they're right back to being addicted, right back to, and they still believe in God, still like looking to Jesus to help them. And Jesus is a no-show. He's not helping them. So yeah, this whole idea of morality coming from God, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. Morality has evolved as humans have evolved. And you don't need a God to enforce morality. In fact, I would say this: if you're only moral, if you're a Christian and you're listening to this and you're only moral because you are a Christian, well, I would say stay a Christian, because we don't need your crazy ass out in the world not a Christian and being deplorable. But it's just such a crutch. Like, so you're not going to be moral without God? In fact, I would challenge that and say you'd be a good person without God. Then, in my situation, I'm a better person without God. And in all fairness, I should probably have said this earlier on when I've said that statement, I'm a better person now. In all fairness, I did a lot of work on myself to be a better person. I could have been a better person when I was a Christian, but it took all the stuff that I went through in my life 7 years ago, the deconstruction, for me to really dig in and do the hard work to become a better person. It just so happens that part of my journey of becoming a better person was also leaving Christianity. That was just part of my journey, part of my story. I know that I'm sure it can go the other way. I'm sure people can, really do the hard work and be a better person and be a Christian. That's fine. You can have a delusion and be a good person. I get it. Right. So yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on morality. Clearly, if you're a Christian, even without God, you'd still be a moral person, most likely. And if you would be unhinged and be an immoral person if you weren't a Christian, again, stay a Christian, but that's kind of not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, really? You would be a bad person without God, without heaven, the guarantee, without the promise of heaven, or without the fear of hell, you would be a bad person? Like, I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in heaven. And I still want to live a good life and be honest and fair and kind and caring. I don't need to fear hell in order to be nice and kind. Anyway, cuss and discuss below. Let me know your thoughts. I have a Facebook group called Timmy's Deconstruction Community. Join it. I think you'll love it. It's not for any, if you're Christian, it's not for you. It's for those that aren't Christian to be a part of. All right, guys, peace.